time to present Scott DuPont to bring you another episode of Finance Your Movie with tips and strategies to help you get your money to tell your story. It's time!
Okay, back with another episode with producer Christos Hines, who just finished the feature American Deadbolt. Welcome, Chris.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it, Scott.
So we're going to get to American Deadbolt in just a second. I just saw the trailer, which looks amazing. Very, very suspenseful, shot very well. But you had done a previous feature called Small Group back in 2018.
That's correct. Yep.
Tell us a little bit about how you put that together.
Small group. Well, that was independent film. That was the biggest film that I had done to date. We raised it all 100% equity. It was just a bit over $1 million for that one.
Wow.
Yeah, it was, it was a faith-based film. And it's still out there, still available, still getting sales. Still, we get money every month.
Excellent. Well, it's a big market, faith-based film.
Yes, it really is. And actually, that one is just coming off of our first distribution deal, so we are now all in talks with other people that still want to see it, even though it's been out for 5 years. But I'd say like 99% of the world has not seen it. So it's got a long life, really long life.
Yeah, it looks like what we call an evergreen. And thanks to the streaming world, the internet all over the world, you can still grow that audience and still collect for decades sometimes.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So how did that $1 million or so come together? Did you just snap your fingers and somebody wrote $1 million check?
If we could do that, that would be amazing, right? No, that it didn't. It was, it was just putting together a presentation and then just pitching people. I will say that we really worked hard on the script. The writer worked really hard on the script. I mean, they took 18 months. It was draft after draft after draft because we knew it was probably going to be about $1 million budget, because we actually shot a week in Guatemala, because in the film, in the story, the characters go on a mission trip to Guatemala. So we actually went down to Guatemala and shot for a week. So
wow,
we knew if we wanted to raise $1 million, it had to be worth $1 million. It had to be really good. So we took a lot of time to really develop it, test it, and then what we did was we take that number and we divide it by 35, because that's what the minimum or the maximum number of LLC members is, not to get too technical, but and then
yeah, 35 accredited investors, no more.
Right. And so basically it was about $20,000 a share. And so we went out there and we like to focus on small to medium sized business owners, because those are folks that aren't, they used to writing checks like that for their businesses, just mentally, psychologically. They can write a check like that. If you go to your buddy that doesn't, that works for somebody else and might not do really, really well, or, $20,000 check, he's going to say, "Are you out of your mind? That I can't do that." So we focused on that, and we got really lucky. The first night that we did our pitch, we had a friend that had a theater, a really nice home theater in his house, and we invited people there. We bought pizza, and we did a pitch. And we ended up selling 5 shares that night. So we raised $100,000. And it's funny because the person whose house that we used, we didn't intend on, pitching to him. He was just letting us use his house. And he ended up buying 2 shares. He was like a dentist. And he was like, "I'm in." He loved the presentation. And I will say, for a faith-based, I'm not saying it's easy. It's not easy to raise that kind of money at all. But people want to spread the faith, and they believe in that if it's a good message. And so there's a little bit different than like a thriller or a horror film. There's a little more of a belief and a spiritual, spreading the faith kind of thing. And a lot of the folks that did invest in the film were, believers or were Christians, and they wanted to spread the word. So
I'm guessing you're a Christian yourself.
I am. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So this pitch or whatever is really kind of a house party, right?
Yes, yes.
And
Well,
how many people would you estimate showed up at this first house party?
it wasn't a huge. It was probably, let's see, there were probably like six.
Oh,
Six.
really small group.
Yeah, small group. I mean, they were well-to-do. We knew they were professionals. One was a retired NFL player. Also one was an actor, a golfer. Some people that we knew were
So you
wealthy.
knew all these people.
We knew these people. Yeah, these are I'd call it a warm market. Warm
Yeah.
market.
And I forgot to ask you at the top of the show, where you're from Athens, Georgia?
Athens, Georgia. Yes, Athens,
Okay.
GA. Yeah, yeah.
I shot a movie back there, I think in 2002 called Say Yes Quickly. It was the follow-up from some of the Blair Witch Project guys.
You are kidding me,
And
Scott. I
since
was a
and
PA
since
on
I
that.
auditioned for the Blair Witch and I didn't get cast, damn if I wasn't going to get cast in their next film, which was called Say Yes Quickly. Greg Hale was the
Well,
producer director.
Greg Hale was the producer. I was a PA on that, man.
On Say Yes Quickly?
Yes, yeah.
Oh my God.
And
Small world.
yeah, yeah. Absolutely. I remember that. I remember. I also auditioned because I was taking an acting class just to meet actors. Like I'm not an actor, and I auditioned just to go through it to see what and for a security guard or a policeman or something like that.
I was the used car lot salesman.
Perfect.
Quick little scene. I drove up from Orlando because Greg said, "Hey, I'll hire you as a local hire." I said, "No problem." Slept in the parking lot.
Wow.
Woke up, found a 7-Eleven or something where I could splash water in my face, and was part of the film.
Wow, a group of us that were local here, we actually formed a nonprofit called Film Athens after that, but we all met on that set. That's crazy. I didn't think anyone else knew about that movie. That's so weird. That's wild.
Yeah. So let me ask you this, since we're kind of talking about your networking group there in Athens, how important would you say it is for indie filmmakers about networking and just constantly meeting people and building their network that they
I,
can eventually share their business plan with?
I think it's essential. It's essential. I mean, really, it's essential in any industry or business when you're starting out, but especially for filmmakers because that's where you're going to get, you'll get crew, you'll get people you'll do other projects with, you'll hear great stories that you might be able to get involved. And I mean, you look how you can help as well, not just what they can do for you. But I go to AFM every year for networking on a national level. And then, I mean, online, there's a lot of groups and things you can get connected with. There's no, I mean, really nowadays, there's no one you can't really reach. I mean, I used to do a lot of going on IMDb Pro, and you can get contact information for other producers that have films similar to you. Or when I'm looking at distributors of movies that are similar to mine, I emailed all those producers, and you'll be surprised at how many people will hit you back and they're rooting for you. It's like we're all kind of in it together. It's just the Wild West right now. So everybody wants you to work out. But yes, definitely.
Especially in the
Locally,
faith-based world, I found.
faith-based, yes, especially in faith-based, but also with any, any place. Like I know when I go to these networking events, I'll see somebody in the corner that's not really talking to anybody, and I say to myself, "That's a writer right there. I know that's a writer," and I'll go talk to them. And sure enough, that's how I bought one of my first scripts was from someone I met that was not talking to anyone at a networking event. Um,
Wow.
called
So
Graveyard
so
Dog.
let's fast forward to American Deadbolt. Looks absolutely incredible. I don't know what the budget was on that, if it was 1 million or
Yeah, no,
so.
it was a little less. It was under 500,000, I would say. I mean, it's
Oh,
still
okay.
a decent chunk, but it's a low budget. It's a low budget.
Okay. And tell us a little bit about that film and how it came together.
Well, that one, I was working with. There's a cinematographer that I work with named Brian Redding, and he's been a cinematographer for probably 25 years. We've done commercials. He shot other features, and he really wanted to direct, and he's directed some shorts. Well, um, I wanted to be the one to help him with his first feature film, and so we bounced around some ideas. We went to inktip.com. It's a place where there's thousands of screenplays, and we looked at a couple. We were trying to go like super low budget, like super low budget, and so we read a few scripts and they weren't quite exactly what we wanted it, but it inspired him. Uh, that's the story of that we read in a screenplay, but then also an event that happened in 2015 in Paris with some terrorist attacks. He had an idea spinning, and so we kind of came up with that, or he came up with it. He's got all the credit for the story. He wrote it, and we kept developing it, and then after we were going to do another film, a bigger film before COVID. Then COVID hit, and everything kind of died. So then we came up with this idea, and so we
Mostly
just
one location, right?
mostly one
Self-contained.
location. That was the thing. Let's try one location, or a couple. And originally we were trying to do it like we were gonna like a play, like we rehearsed for 6 weeks with actors, and then we just shoot it in a weekend. But then it grew and grew, and then we got SAG actors involved, and so once you go SAG, you're not doing 6 weeks of rehearsals unless you've got a lot of money, which we wanted to keep it modified SAG.
Now,
So
now, how did the money come together? Did you do some more house parties, or just were you reaching out to business owners again, or people you
it's
knew?
same thing. Not I really didn't do house parties. I knew people. There were some investors from the previous from small group and also I've just got as you do something 10,000 times, you get good at it. And I honed in. This was a smaller budget, so it was a smaller per share. So yeah, I like again focus on business owners, and I always try to invest a little myself. It's a lot easier for me to tell someone, hey, I'm also invested in this. I also have a
100%.
couple
I
shares.
tell every single filmmaker that you gotta have some skin in the game. Otherwise,
Exactly.
don't even
Right.
call people up.
Right. And so, yeah, and so that's what we did it just pitching people, and a lot of times when you get new folks involved and it's their first time, I mean, they're usually their family, if they're able, they definitely want to help somewhat, and then you get to a point where you can green light it, but then you keep raising it. I like to get to a point where I know we can shoot it and get it in the can, so to speak, and then get post money. But I'm always raising. Like I still bring people. I bring a lot of potential investors to set. They love that, and I've
Yeah,
had people buy shares after that. They see it happening. They know it's real,
yeah,
and it's that's the most emotional they'll ever be, really, unless you have the premiere. They like to come to that too. And we did have a big premiere here, and we sold out 2 theaters. It was amazing, and investors came, actors came, and people bought tickets. We actually made money. We were positive cash flow already for that from just the
excellent.
theater.
So what you're talking about to filmmakers is you maybe raise 80% of the budget or so to hit your escrow amount, and then as you're filming or finishing up post, you can bring some more people on. Did you
Yes.
ever do a rough cut screening or something to potential investors?
No, what I've done before is I'll shoot a trailer. We didn't do it for this project, but I will shoot a trailer because kind of gives you the feel and the tone for the film, and then I'll use that to raise money. And then when we have these little parties to invite people, investors, it's also a video. It's a little bit of video and presentation, but then also it's live talking with them too. Um, you can shoot a scene if you want. I just like the trailers because it gives you kind of a whole flavor of the film. Um,
Yeah,
but yeah, and now my first film, we raised all the money up front. Because it is dangerous to just raise 80%. I'm saying you can get your 80% or whatever it is to be able to shoot. You just gotta you gotta be careful, like because when you're using bigger name actors, scheduling becomes a nightmare. So you want to make sure you can pay all that. So that's why I would go ahead and do it, because you may lose that person that you want to scheduling if you don't go ahead and pull the trigger and schedule it out and shoot.
yeah, and of course you disclose that to investors that there could be
Absolutely.
some post-production marketing funds you'll get later.
And I'm absolutely transparent with investors. I mean, like overkill. Like they can see the books, they see everything. I'm just because, and I do say on the paperwork on the PPM, this is a risk. It's a risk.
Of course, yeah.
Because I got to look these people in the eye afterwards, and and sometimes it's people I know in town. If it's a business owner or something I know, I just want to be completely upfront and let them know.
Yeah.
People appreciate that.
Absolutely. Um, any, since you've done two films back to back, any advice you would give to filmmakers maybe starting to do their first raise or maybe they've done a $50,000 micro budget, but they're getting ready to step up to a $250,000, $500,000, $1 million, a real film.
Yeah, yeah. I would say for sure, like I mean, for sure, and it sounds silly. Know who your audience is. Absolutely know who your audience is because I know it's always exciting and nerve-wracking about getting the film, raising the money, and getting your film shot and made. But after that, you have to know who you're going to market it to. And you all absolutely have to have marketing money as well. So when I raise that money, that includes a nice chunk for marketing. You have to have marketing money. You can't expect a distributor to do that now. I mean, I'm not saying it'll never happen, but boy, it's like winning the lottery that someone's going to put marketing money behind your film. And so you have to do that. And the earlier, I'd say start building your audience right away. You can share thoughts. I mean, even if it's just social media online and collecting emails. I mean, it sounds archaic. I do that all the time. Collect emails. And so I have a nice list now. So when our film is ready to go, I can send out, hey, pre-order the film or you order it here. Maybe I can give them a coupon if for being loyal or first, 1,000 people or something like that. So you can communicate with them. You got to own your audience. I think that's the future is being in direct contact with your audience. Gives you the power, and you can make more money. You have, 100,000 people following you and you can get $10 per per person instead of 12 cents. It's a big difference. It's your next film, maybe your next two films, who knows.
Yeah, yeah. Well, Chris Hines, I wish you all the best with American Deadbolt. Where can people go? Do you have a website people can learn more information?
I do. AthensGAFilms.com. AthensGAFilms.com. And that will talk about American Deadbolt and we'll be updating it with other projects and future screenings. Um, we're trying out some new platforms, some new ways to make money. I've been talking with a lot of producers, indie producers, and a lot of them are doing their own theatrical runs, and we've had some success there. And like new distributors are coming out, and they'll work with you. You can take some of the rights. You don't have to give up all the worldwide rights because we got to make a living and make money back for the film so we can keep doing it. But yeah, athensgafilms.com.
Do you want to
So
share one of those sites you told me about? Was it event.org or something?
eventive.org, eventive.org. You can put your film on there and it's like they stream it. They also have like an app on Roku so people can stream it to their televisions, computers. But you pay a small fee to get it on there, and then you keep you keep the money. There's like maybe a small transaction fee for credit card kind of thing, but that's for the credit cards. But yeah, it's a new thing. A few producers I know have done it, and they've done pretty well. So I'm experimenting with that
Worth
right
looking into, eventive.org.
now. .org, yeah.
And athensgafilms.com. Go check out American Deadbolt. Chris Hines, thanks for being on the show.
Thanks, Scott. Appreciate it.
It's time!
There's never been a better time to make your own film. And if you have a dream project you're excited about and 100% committed to getting it funded, go to financeyourmovie.com, click on the green telephone, you'll see our calendar and find an open spot. We'll do a one-on-one call, which will be the best hour you've ever spent getting clarity and strategy towards financing your movie.